tea time. It's always tea time. Right, so it's Saturday. I'm off work, but my brain is going over and over, and so I'm just preparing for work for Monday. I've got doors to fit on Monday, and I don't do a lot of doors over the course of the year. So whenever I get a job where I am doing some doors, a little bit of anxiety kicks in. What if you get it wrong? What if you don't? Anyway, so I've ordered the doors from Wicks, which I've got to go and pick up this evening at about 6 o'clock, because I don't want all the faffing about on Monday morning of going to pick them up. And generally, Wicks car park can get a bit busy on a Monday morning. I've got a big van, and you're all trying to squeeze in, and I'm trying to find doors in a rush. So I thought I'd order them, let someone else do the picking, put them on a trolley. I'll go down here this evening at 6 o'clock. Car park's nice and quiet. So I've got them, and then I'm all ready for Monday morning. Then I can just go work Monday morning, stress free, and that's generally how I like to work, really. So anyway, the reason I'm in the garage is I want to cut the hinges in with my little trim router. I want to do a proper job. I enjoy it, and obviously the more you use it, the better you get at these things. And hammer and chisel's okay, but I've got the gear for it. And what I've used in the past is a hinge jig. Now, if you don't know how these work, there's plenty of channels with good carpenters showing you how to make these. But basically, if that's the edge of your door, you would put that onto there, and then your hinge, this is obviously built for a 75mm hinge, so that is the right width. So if that's your door, let me try and get you down a bit. Now you can see there's just a little lip there, which will sort of correspond with the thickness of the hinge going on there. So then you get your router, set it to your depth, router all this out, Bob's your uncle, take that off, and you'll be left with, I'll show you some practice shots. So these are old practice bits that I've done in the past. So basically, once that, much easier to show you with this really. So basically, there's your edge of your door. Go in with a router, take that off, you just left that pattern, nip out your corners, and there you go. You've got a lovely little, yeah, look at that, that's nice and tight. But where I've used this a few times, I think it's a little bit bigger on either side now. I'm not sure, I'm not convinced. Well, it still looks alright. I know the last couple of doors I've done have been a little bit, there's been a little bit of play. Can you see that? There's just left, right. Maybe it will be alright. Maybe I'm overthinking again. But I was going to build a new one of these actually. That's the whole reason I brought you out here. So, I've got a couple of nice bits of MDF laying about. This is left over from some wall paneling. You buy the kits and you literally just stick them on the wall. Wall panel there, one there, one there. It gives you your wall panel. Anyway, it's nicely machined stuff. So, I'm going to try and use that up and make some nice jigs, because I've not really got the equipment in here to do like proper finished machining. I haven't got a table saw. I've got a miter saw, but I haven't got a table saw. I won't use them. I don't like them. They're just too dangerous for a clumsy clot like me. So I just do all my cuts either on a band saw, the miter saw, or I've got the track saw. I don't mind a track saw. I don't mind anything that spins away from me, but I won't use something that spins towards me. I had well, it could have been potentially a really bad accident in here with a table saw. I bought one and I'd set it up in here, and I was cutting, I was about here actually. I had the table saw set up and I was cutting a length of wood like that, pushing it through. And I'd only just bought this table saw, so I'd watched videos, and I was always a bit nervous of it, to be honest. And as I was pushing it through, I didn't have an end feed table. You know, the one that, so when it goes over the end, stops it doing this. Because I'm always in a rush, things like that. I never think ahead. I'm very optimistic. I go, yeah, that'll be all right. So I'm pushing a bit through like that, and it was about this long. Of course, as it got to the end, it's gone like that. It's hit that blade that's spinning towards me at about 200 miles an hour. And the first one went past me, and I will make I won't exaggerate this. Let me shut the door. This is the noise I heard. Right? And I thought, what the fuck was that? And I realised that it had shot past me and hit that door. So I thought, right, okay, try again, nice and carefully. So I've gone like that again. Exactly the same thing's happened, obviously. It's come off the end of the feed table, hit the blade going towards me, but this time it's flown at me and it's hit me. And I was dressed very similar to this actually, and it hit me there, right? And I had thick jeans on. I think I did have a coat. Yeah, it was winter, so because I was building a fireplace mantle. So it hit me here. I thought I went like that. I thought, wow, mate, that was a bit naughty. And when I had a look, it had drawn blood on me here. So it obviously gone because I was cutting them in like a bit of a point at an end. I was cutting it on like an angle, so it's like an Harris rail angle. So it hit me there and drew blood in my skin through coat, jeans, boxer shorts. And I just thought, if that had come up here and done that, that's it. My eye would have been gone.
Good lad. Have a good night with us.
So anyway, I took it straight back to tool station, got my money back, and actually no, I sold it to my brother-in-law, and then he upgraded it to a DeWalt one because it wasn't the best. It was only like a generic tool station thing. But anyway, long story short, and it was a long story. So that's the reason I won't have a table saw. There seems to be a lot of factors that can make that go wrong and can cause accidents. And if you're not one of these people that are very, very methodically thinking, which I'm not, I'm a little bit like, I'm just a plasterer, painter, does a bit of woodwork. I'm not a precision engineer joiner. So my eye doesn't go to the finer detail like that. So that's why I don't want a skill saw, because it spins away from you. And if a skill saw does catch or bite, as long as you get hold of it, you can manhandle the skill saw. But with a table saw, the speed that mistake happens, you've got no reaction time at all. Before you've even realised what's happened, something's sticking out your eye. So, yes. So anyway, back to the story. While I've got some nicely machined edges, I'm going to try and use them to make the jigs up. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. And then I've got another one for the latches. Now that probably does need a little bit of sorting out actually. Let's get a latch out and we'll have a look at that. So first thing my brain tells me to do is draw around this little face plate. Just sharpen my pencil, put a bit of lead in my pencil. So this is not a how-to video, this is just you watching an old plasterer try and become a better man in the woodworking department. So let's put that there. So I'm going to obviously draw around that now. And now I'm going to have to cut that out. So this is right. So I need to cut that out nice and tight. So I should use a bandsaw for this really, shouldn't I suppose? Right, so that He's spot on with that now. Change of plan. I just couldn't make that work. Now then. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to build a jig to enable me to use my router. And the easiest way to cut that bit out, this oblong out of the middle of that, would be with a router. But I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to cut that out of a router without coming over the edge. So the thing I'm making to make me more skilled with my router, I can't make because I'm not skilled enough with my router. Can't make it up, can you? Right, so something like that. So I've clamped that to there, that to there. So I can run up there, there, and then just swap these bit of wood round really. And so that should be the guide, I think. So far it's a goodie. Same again there, isn't it, really? It's looking good. Right. A little bit. You get that with a Stanley knife, that little bit there. Hold on. Right, so there we have that now. Right, so I'm hoping that let's turn you around this way. I hope you're staying with me with this. So now I'm hoping that is the same size as that, or it's just been a complete waste of time. Oh, it ain't bad, it ain't bad. No, it's too big. It's no good. It's wider. For fuck's sake. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. I do. Oh, God. Right, let's try something else. Let's try something different. Right, I've resorted back to the best way I know, really, and that is just cut 4 bits like that. So I've stuck the 3 of them together, and then you can just sort of slide them up to the edge of this, because I just couldn't get it right with doing it the other way. So obviously slide that up to the edge of that. Obviously these have all got to be the right width, these 2 top bits. So, and then I can stick that bit in there, obviously to the thickness of the thing, to the height of that. Let's do that. Right, so I've just stuck all them together now with the mitre bond glue. So that is as exact a fit for that as I can get. So pop that out. There we have that. So now the plan is, this is so long-winded, isn't it? But I hope you're finding it entertaining. So now I've got to find the centre of that door, which should be a 35mm door, I think. And then we can put a little couple of blocks coming off this, or 1 block one side, to be honest. And then that will go over the door, and it won't let it slide or deviate from the centre. Do you see what I mean? So then, got this now, just trim that down so it's perfect for that. And what I'll do, I won't stick this bit on yet, because I'm going to wait until I've picked the doors up, and then I know. So what basically you do is find the centre of the door, glue this bit onto there, so you end up with that. and then whenever you put that on the door, you're instantly going to find the center for that plate. And what this bit here allows you to do is put a couple of clamps on there then as well. So you can clamp it down at an angle, or could even make a longer one really, like that. So then you can put your clamps on up there and up there, which I'll probably do that. I'll just make a longer one. That took some thinking really. Well, the whole shame of it is, if I had a table saw, I would imagine I could make that a bit more spot on really, but I'm happy with that. Just hope it works on the day. I think it might even be a bit too tight, but do you know what? I'd rather it be a bit tight than over, because I can always just nibble it out with the router, with the chisel. So it's almost there. Look, it ain't too bad. So that's that one. Now we've got this problem with the hinge one. I think, do I want to make another hinge one? I've got time. Right, it's about 3 or 4 hours later. I've been out, picked up my doors from Wickes. Anyway, that brings me into still trying to make this new hinge jig, and I failed miserably at the other bits and pieces. And the secret is, I watched another video. I went back indoors, put YouTube on, and watched the original video that I used to make this one. And there's a few videos of that, but the one I watch is by a fella called Bradshaw's Joinery. He's very good, he's very easy to watch, and it just jogged my memory of what I really needed. And the secret to making these hinge jigs is having a bit of wood that is as wide as your hinge. And this is where I fall down by not having a table saw, because I can't cut a bit of wood that big neatly anyway, down to the width of one hinge leaf. But lucky enough in Wickes I had some strips of stuff that were, I think this is probably like literally a millimetre under the size I wanted, because I measured this hinge, I think it was 21mm, and this bit of wood is 20mm. So anyway, I can get on with it now and make the hinge properly, and I shall try and show you that. I need to clear all this up first, because it looks like a child's been playing with toys here. I've had a few attempts, look, bit rubbish, rubbish. There's so many offcuts. It's only meant to be about 4 bits to make these things. I've just got bits and pieces everywhere. You can see how many attempts I've had at this, can't you? I'm not selling myself well, but this has never been a real sort of how-to channel. I mean, I could show you how to plaster. That's one thing I could teach you full on, you know. Not a problem teaching how to plaster or how to decorate. But when it comes to these other little tricky jobs, I'm never going to pretend that I'm a master, because I'm not. So I just quite like having people on the journey with me, and you can laugh at me, you can learn from me. I don't really mind, really, as long as you're enjoying it. That's the main thing. So let me try and set this camera up so it's pointing down a bit more professionally, so you're getting like a bit of a bird's eye view of what my hands are doing. I'm just going to have a bit more of my coffee now. Where did I put that? Oh, it's there. It's right behind you. Right behind you. I bought some of them, like a little sort of tub, like a caramel shot, and you just literally squeeze a drop in your coffee. Livens it up a bit. It's okay. It's got not sugary. It's got that, like, I don't know. I can't do without sugar in my coffee. I don't like that saccharine stuff or the replacement. It's always got like a bit of kick at the end of it. But anyway, I tried it, and I probably won't try it again after that. Oh, it's awful. Ugh. Ugh. Right, enough of that. You're not here to about that. So let's Move this out of the way and try and tilt you down to some sort of. How's that? You can see, oh, that's good. Like you can see. Right. So, where's our hinge? So this is our hinge. We will need to create a jig that's going to end up looking something like this. This is my old jig, and there was nothing wrong with it, but the back just started getting a little bit sort of wobbly where it was not being cut properly, because I think I'd probably cut that on a bandsaw. And of course the router bit wants to follow any little contour in there, so when I'm putting my hinges in, I've just noticed that where the back of the hinge leaf sits, which would you know, ineffectively be there on the door, that there's a little bit of, it's not that straight, it's looking a little bit sort of in and out. So that's why I've gone to the trouble of buying myself a nice bit of pine, like £8 I think this was, out of Wicks, but at least them bits are going to be machined at edge for me, so all I've really got to do is cut them to length and stick them together. So let's get on with that. Right, now we just need to assemble it. So we'll have one bit there. We can put a hinge there up against that. And this is where these need to be the same width as the hinge leaves, because what happens is we will end up sticking one there and then one there. And that will just sit into the hinge perfectly then. So we know that's the width. So we stick our bits of wood there. When we take that out, we know that is exactly the depth of our hinge. So let's get on with that first. Right, a little bit of glue on there. Bit of sprayed out. And then we can just stick that there. Now it hasn't got to be perfect at the minute, because just make sure you keep it flat. Right, there we can put this hinge there. Then we can stick the second one. So same again, bit of glue. Now we've got to make sure that just sits right in there. I'm not going to squeeze it ridiculously tight, that's it. Just give a little bit of playroom. Right, so far so good. This is a hinge going in there just a little bit, just I don't want to make it ridiculously tight. That's that. So now we've got that, I'm going to use this old rough bit of wood. I'm going to fix it to that, to there. But before I fix it, I'm just going to notch out where the hinges go. And I'm just going to drop that down a bit, so let's do a pencil line across there. I'm just going to cut that out on the bandsaw, and the reason for this bigger bit will become apparent. So when you are putting on a door, you've got a bit of overhang that will sit on the door, so you can't go past the edge of your door. Right, so I've just notched that a bit out there, but it hasn't got to be perfect, because when we come across to the router, that will take that all off. So what we want to do now is stick that onto there. That's it, just line it up, push it on. Can even put some screws in this later. It's not a done deal. Right, this is obviously just a bit of sacrificial stuff. And here we go. I just need to get myself, I'm going to treat myself to one of them little punchers to just take the corner out. But there, as you can see, the width is good, the depth is good, it just needs the corners taken out. Which, do you know what, let's get a chisel and I'll do it properly for you. Right, corners are out of that, and let's see how we got on with that. Now that is looking pretty nice. Yeah, so I'm happy with that. So that can be my jig for the next couple of days at work. So there's the jig all finished, and I'll be using that tomorrow. So come back tomorrow probably afternoon, early evening, and I'll put a video up of what I've recorded and we'll see how this works. And hopefully this will really sort of just sharpen up the hinges, just improve me finishing skills really. And same with the latch, we'll get that on the go as well, and try and router out for the face plates of the latches as well, just to make it look really sharp really. So after all that faffing about building this jig for the latches for these bits, I then worked out that this material wasn't deep enough to use the roller on the router edge, because this bit would have been already into the material before the router started plunging. So I just built myself another one of them basically out of this depth material, and that was the whole problem. So obviously I can get into the center of this with the router rolling on the guide before the cutter even starts touching the door, so then I can just drop it down incrementally into the door width. So that was it really. That was my whole problem, was not having the right depth and thickness of wood to start with. If I'd have had this, I probably would have been done in half an hour. So anyway, that's just built on the same principle, slide them up to the edge of it, and so that will fit perfectly, or near as, damn it, perfectly. A lot better than I could do with a hammer and chisel, I'm sure. So that's that. And then what I'll do is, once I get to the doors, then I can stick these onto there to make sure I've got dead center of the door. So obviously then this will just slip over the edge of the door, and then that'll align me dead center for that then. Anyway, hopefully I'll be using these tomorrow. So if you want to join me for another masterclass in carpentry, I'll see you tomorrow evening at some point. I'll probably put a video out tomorrow evening, like I usually do. Anyway, take care everybody.